Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. Yes, it's that time of the year again, that time of the patch again. Leak lists are coming out and we're going to talk about one that it is kind of weird and dividing. I feel sometimes I'm like 50-50. Normally when they are really fake, I normally don't talk about them. But this one is like 50-50. It's probably just a very good guess, as normally it is. But just a disclaimer first, before you say, oh my god, you're spreading fake news. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, I know how you guys feel about this. But to be honest, it is very fun to actually talk about these vehicles when they are leak lists. I don't want to promote leak lists, but still, I don't know. The last time I actually did a leak list like this, if I'm not mistaken, everything was true. I did like 3 videos last year that really blew up, talking about this type of thing, and they were basically like 90-95% right on all the things that I talked about it. So I normally only talk about when the guesses are actually making sense, at least. But I will talk about the problems that I have with this one, that it's spreading on the forum right now, especially on the rumor roundup. So we're going to zoom up, but first of all, just a weird thing that it's in different shades of white here and different, different types of lettering here. So I don't know, it is kind of weird that it is in the same one, but then it's just different. It might be just multiple people that wrote it, but I don't know, it feels really weird, and it's probably not true, but still, let's talk a little bit about it. So the first part of it, we're going to talk about some of these. I will talk about every aircraft, but the tanks I will just pass it over. Some prototype tank here, LAV-25A2, the M1 KVT, which is already published, right? Leopard 2A5 PSO, it's already found in the files if I'm not mistaken. ASU 57P, which it is a very weird one. It is basically this vehicle that it is an amphibious version of the ASU 57. So yeah, very weird. Only 5 prototypes built and not really entered production, but still kind of interesting, right? Oh, sorry. Then the BTR-82. So yes, the BTR-82, it is basically just a BTR-80 that we normally have in real life, but it exchanges the main armament, which is normally a KPVT gun or something similar to that, to a 30mm gun. So yeah, I don't think this thing actually has any type of, ATGM or anything like that. So if it's ever added, it's going to be a lower BR, but still, it is pretty cool. We never had a more modern BTR. The only that we have, it's like the 152, if I'm not mistaken. So kind of old, right? But it would be very cool to see that. Then the Object 19. Let me check if I actually, it's this vehicle, very weird one. A turret of a BMP-1, as you see, even the Malyutka launcher system over here. So I don't know, it's just a very weird, looks amphibious, and just a very weird vehicle. I don't understand why you would have this. It's probably when you just go down the mud and you are actually trying to, basically you are stuck in the mud, and then you will use that. But it's very weird, very, very weird vehicle. Let's go back. M4A4, some other vehicles that I'm not gonna mention to the video, not to go too far. You can check it out. Vextra 105 is like a Centauro kind of deal, But the thing is that, remember, if I'm not showing in every single video that I do, if I'm not showing a vehicle's image, it's normally because it is hard to find non-copyrighted images for it. So that's just why, okay? Leopard Bofors, I saw it and didn't find any proper pictures with no copyrights. But Leopard Bofors, it is basically a Leopard 1 that has a Bofors cannon on it, so it's very interesting. Wansheng, apparently, it's a M48 or something like that. Some other shifting Sabra, it's like an M60 for the Israelis, so yeah. So let's talk about the aircraft, which is always the main horse of the channel, right? F-86D. This is where I think we are not going to have this list as being true, because the F-86D, it is basically the same as the K that we have in game, but it has a problem. It doesn't have guns, as you see. It is just an F-86, it has the normal radar here, it has an afterburning engine, but the real problem is that it doesn't have a gun. In real life, in theory, it can carry the A9Bs, right? But the main armament are these rockets over here. It is basically the same as that Scorpion aircraft, that has the rockets, the F-89. So it is kind of weird. This aircraft would be very, very bad. And if it's coming for 3 nations, I mean, it feels like it's not going to be a premium, right? So, I don't know, it feels really not that good. I mean, maybe if he gets the A9s and together with that, the proximity fuse rockets that apparently he did not use, but it's debatable if he did use or not, then it might have a chance of actually being competitive. But I mean, it's problematic, right? People don't want aircraft that don't have cannons in the game, certain interceptors and stuff, but then something like this they like. So I don't know, it's kind of weird, and I really just hope this is a premium or something like that, because it would really be bad at the Tech 3, I think. I mean, maybe it's alright if you used in the head-on, but anything beyond that, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of ammo, as you see here. So it really is an interceptor for bombers, and just a not very good aircraft. And this is the catch that I think he makes this list fake. I don't think the F-86D is ever going to be added. I mean, it can be added as a premium or event vehicle, but I don't think it's going to be added as a Tech 3 vehicle. And I think it's really, it probably is fake. This list is fake just due to that. Another thing that I found it weird, AV-8B. So they don't mention which variant it is actually, AV-8B, but I really doubt that it's not going to be the N8, the Night Attack version, because we already have the GR7 version of the Harrier in the British Tech 3. So adding the AV-8B in the normal one would be just kind of lacking for the US Tech 3, right? So I really think that if they are adding right now the Harrier AV-8B, right, they should be the NA version, which has thermals and other stuff, night vision goggles and stuff, to basically do precision striking with night vision and etc., right? Of course, in the future, we can have the Plus variant, which would be similar to something like the Sea Harrier FA2, right? That has the M120s and other stuff like that with VR and a very good radar. But for now, the normal NA version would be fine. So yeah, it is kind of weird that it is without a designation here. The IL-20, just a very weird prototype, prop prototype. So yeah, the IL-6, it is another like prop kind of bomber, similar to the IL-4. So nothing too major to talk about it here. Let's go back here. Then Junkers 8074, nothing major to talk about. Then the IA-63. This is actually called the Pampa, which is a trainer from the Argentinian, and it is saying that it is coming as a German premium. So it would make sense for the Argentinian to actually receive this. So I don't know, the Germans, I mean. So I don't know if it's right or wrong, but still, the Alpha Jet for Germany and France, it is basically the same kind of aircraft trainer, that has some type of light attack weaponry. It will be kind of a lower BR, but it is very interesting to see nonetheless. Hopefully something like this is added. Something like a Hawk can be added to the L-39, all the trainers like that are light attack aircraft, right? Let's go back to the list here. Then the Gnat F1, it's another aircraft. I already talked about it. Back in the October patch last year, patch last year, because it was used by the Finnish, and they say it's going to be used by the Great Britain and the Finnish, which is kind of like a Hunter and Swift kind of deal, like very old aircraft that has kind of a interceptor kind of vibe. But yeah, it has a very strong engine. If I'm not mistaken, it is the Avon. So it is a very fun aircraft, and it should be very fast. But it is kind of that deal. Nothing too major, but an aircraft nonetheless that needs to be added at some point. the alien can, which is just a naval like hydroplane for France, which is kind of weird, but okay. Then we have the Tornado ADV for Italy. So the Tornado ADV for the Italians, it is kind of interesting. In real life, they never used the Super Temp Skyflash apparently. I think they used better missiles than the normal Skyflash, but still, in the game, you probably will receive the Super Temp Skyflash if it's ever added. And of course it's going to be added. This is just like a given, right? At some point, these aircraft will be added, and I think it's going to be this patch. Because it was added to last patch for the Brits, so it just makes sense, right? Then another interesting one, AJS-37, which is basically a modernization of the normal AJ-37 from the 90s. It is going to use basically new cockpits or avionics, specifically more software upgrades for the radar and stuff. So it should be very similar to the AJ-37 in general, but with more modern stuff in the cockpit and also more modern weaponry. So you might use the RB-74 like the 9L, right? Or something like that to defend itself. More advanced weaponry like more advanced anti-ship and Mavericks maybe or something like that. I don't know exactly, I have to check, but still, it is just basically the same aircraft with better equipment from the 90s, right? Let's go back here. Then the Mosquito, doesn't matter too much. Helicopters, the Panther, it is a helicopter that is pretty famous. Mi-24 VP, squadron vehicle, I don't know, I mean, the Mi-24 VP is actually pretty interesting. It is an Mi-24 from 1989, and it is basically the last Mi-24 built before the end of the Soviet Union. It has the Grisha 23mm instead of the normal Yak-B cannon that the V is normally used. So it is very interesting to have that cannon, and it has a new tail, very much like the tail on the Mi-28 as well. So it is just overall a more modern Mi-24 from the 80s, right? The attack back as a GE Premium. I mean, this type of thing makes you wonder if it's actually true, because why would you think, or if you're guessing, right? Why would you think that a T-129 would be back as a GE Premium? It might be just a good guess, but it feels weird, right? I don't know. The naval, as you see, some, of course, French Blue Water Fleet, doesn't matter too much. But it's just like very, very specific. That's why I think it's kind of real. Like the ATAS loadout for the MQ-1. The ATAS, it is basically the air-to-air Stinger missiles. So basically a Stinger missile for the MQ-1 drone. Panama Canal inspired coastal map only, Paris inspired tank map. This kind of give, see how it's just kind of weird. These things, I mean, HE rework, new award for shooting down a nuclear carrier, basically a nuke carrier, right? It just feels too specific to be fake. But then you see a Paris inspired tank map. I don't think they're going to do that for now. So I don't know. I feel very much divided. At some points, I see, man, an Alpha Jet, a Tornado ADV, makes sense, right, that these things are added. The I-863 or something like that. But then an F-86D, it feels really far away. It doesn't feel like it's going to come, especially for Three Nations as Tech 3 vehicles. So, I don't know. It is really, for me, it is really in the middle between being real or not. In my opinion, I mean, I was wondering if I was going to do a video about this. To be honest, I didn't want to, because I don't want to spread any type of fake news or anything like that, but still, it was really like believable at the same time that it isn't. So I will leave you to you guys to actually have basically a look on it and just see if you agree with it, if it feels real or not. The last time, as I said, that we did that, I think I did one video before after that, but normally these videos are like 50-50, to be honest. Sometimes these leaks are very much true, and sometimes they're very, very wrong. So only time will tell. For now, it feels faker, more fake than real, just because of those like aircraft like this. But everything else, I don't know, it feels believable. The lack of more advanced aircraft makes me kind of, I don't know. You know, I really do think that they're going to expand on the 4th gen this year, and just jumping and not having anything like too big for aviation right now would be kind of crazy. It's just filler gaps over here, so nothing too crazy, right? So I don't know. I just feel that it's missing something big here, like an SU-24 and F-111, like an F-15A, or I don't know, even a MiG-25 that I always talk about. Something big that would actually sell the patch for the air. But there's the thing that this patch is probably going to be just focused on the French blue water fleet. So if that's the case, we would imagine that nothing too crazy would come for the air as well. So I don't know. As I said, I'm really divided. Let me know your opinion on the comments below, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys. See ya. Subscribe.